Welcome back to the Survival Summit podcast. I'm Jesse, the author of P.A.C.E. Planning, the 9 Pillars of Preparedness, and the co-author of Situational Awareness. And I'm grateful you're tuning in today because we're diving into a concept I believe is one of the most powerful, most transformative, and most urgent in the entire preparedness world. We haven't put out a podcast in a little while. I've actually been sick for about 7 or 8 days. I think the last one we put out was June 1st or June 2nd, and I'm really happy to be back. So this isn't just theory. It's a mindset. It's a way of life. It's a way of seeing the world that can change the way you think, prepare, act, and ultimately survive. It's called left of boom. Now I want you to listen closely here. If there's one mindset, one framework, one philosophy that you internalize from everything we've ever talked about here on the podcast, or in our books, or in our instructional films, it might just need to be this one. Because a left of boom isn't just some catchy military phrase. It's a lens, a tool, a guide for knowing where you stand on the timeline of danger and how much time you really have to act. See, a lot of people talk about surviving the collapse, a collapse, the boom, but fewer talk about the space before it. That quiet, uncertain stretch of time where the warning signs start to build. The systems begin to strain, and you still have a choice. That's the space I want you living in. That's the space where smart people prepare. Today we're going to unpack exactly what left to boom means, where the term came from, and how to apply it in your life, and why so many Americans, even smart, capable, well-meaning people, are unknowingly drifting closer and closer to the boom with every passing day. We'll break it down in detail. I'll walk you through some practical steps. I'll share stories, and by the end of this episode, you'll not only understand the left of boom mindset, you'll know how to live it. So wherever you are, driving, working, gearing up your go bag, grab your coffee, your notebook, or just your attention, and let's get into it. What is left of boom, and what does it mean? Let's break this down. Boom is the event. It's the point of no return. The ambush, the explosion, the riot in your city, the cyber attack that knocks out your grid, the moment the shelves go empty. The instant the sirens wail. It can be a hurricane, a terrorist attack, an EMP, a financial crash, or even just the sudden, deafening realization that help isn't coming. Now imagine a timeline. In the middle, that's boom. It's the center point. It's the blast. Everything that comes after, to the right, that's the right of boom. That's what we call the reaction territory. And let's be honest, reaction mode is where most of society lives. They're caught off guard, scrambling, panicking, trying to figure out what to do when they've already lost the most valuable thing they had, time. But everything long before that moment, that's the space that's called left of boom. It's your decision-making window. It's the sliver of time where action is still on the table, where you can stockpile, relocate, alert your team, and implement your P.A.C.E. plan. For those of you who don't remember, P.A.C.E. stands for Primary, Alternate, Contingency, and Emergency. In fact, for the well-prepared, left of boom is where 90% of your survival work happens. The phrase left of boom originated in the U.S. military, specifically during the Iraq War. Troops were being killed by IEDs, improvised explosive devices, for those of you who are not aware. The problem was the bombs were going off, and then the response was happening. So analysts and commanders said, we need to shift left of boom. They began studying patterns, routes, suspicious behavior, cell phone data, anything to detect and disrupt threats before they exploded. That mindset saved lives. It's intelligence-driven. It's proactive. It's mission first. And when we apply that same principle to preparedness, it can be life-saving. So I ask you, if a major event happened tomorrow, if the boom landed in your city, your town, your family's life, where are you right now on that timeline? Are you far enough left? Are you making your decisions while you still have time? Or are you sleepwalking towards the blast, which unfortunately a lot of people these days are. A lot of people walking around with rose-colored glasses. You know, once you're right of boom, everything changes. Not in a good way. In this podcast, we're going to teach you to live left of boom, not just react to the fallout. So why don't more people live left of boom? It's not because they're lazy. It's not because they don't care. It's because the human brain is hardwired for comfort and normalcy. We crave routine. We seek safety in the familiar. And that's what makes this mindset shift so difficult, but so necessary. Psychologists call it normalcy bias. It's the belief that because something hasn't happened before or hasn't happened to you, it won't happen in the future. It's why people stay in their homes when a wildfire is coming. It's why some people ignore flood warnings, skip tornado drills, or wave off the growing price of food as temporary. Normalcy bias whispers in your ear, it'll be fine. Things will go back to normal. But that bias, it can kill. It delays action. It clouds judgment. And in a survival situation, hesitation can be deadly. Living left of boom means waking up from that mental fog. It means reprogramming how you think, not from a place of fear, but from a place of responsibility. It means asking, what if this does happen? What can I do today to be ready? Here's what most people don't realize. The earlier you act, the easier it is. That's the paradox. People think preparing is hard, but reacting when the roads are jammed, the stores are empty, and the power's out, that's hard. That's chaos. And it's completely avoidable if you shift your psychology now, not later. Preparedness is not paranoia, it's responsibility. It's stewardship. It's love for your family, faith in action. When you take steps to prepare, you're not living in fear. You're leading, you're protecting, and you're building resilience. As that mindset grows, preparedness becomes second nature. You stop seeing gear and plans as burdens, and you start seeing them as investments. You look at your neighborhood and ask, are we ready? You read news headlines differently. You start catching the signs that others might miss. You become the calm in the storm because you saw the storm coming. Living left to boom is about being early, not right. And in survival, early is everything. Let's talk about some early warning signs and how to spot the shift. So how do you know when you're getting close to boom? You learn to watch the edges, the cracks in the system. These signals won't come with fireworks or big headlines. They show up quietly, gradually, but they're always there. And they're always there for people who are paying attention. Here are 7 major warning signs that you're drifting closer to boom. Number 1, could be economic instability. Are you noticing inflation that doesn't let up? Mass layoffs, the rising cost of food, fuel, and housing. These aren't just economic trends. They're red flags. Historically, prolonged economic stress precedes both civil unrest and government overreach. Number 2, energy blackouts. A few localized outages might seem minor, but they point to deeper grid fragility. Watch how your state or your region handles energy shortages and ask yourself, how fast would chaos unfold if power was out for 48 hours or more? Number 3, civil unrest. Protests turning violent. Police departments overwhelmed. Cities unable to control looting. If social fabric is fraying, boom is closer than you think. Number 4, food supply chain disruptions. Empty shelves, shipping delays, major corporations issuing rationing policies. When the flow of food slows, everything gets more volatile. Number 5, increased government control. That could be increased emergency curfews, travel restrictions, mandatory compliance systems. The more reactive and controlling the government becomes, the more likely a larger crisis is being managed or even hidden. Number 6, cyber attacks. Banks locking up, websites crashing, communications going down. Remember, cyber warfare doesn't need bombs. All it needs is a laptop and a vulnerable grid. When systems fail, panic follows. Number 7, extreme weather events. Floods, fires, record droughts. If they become frequent, they impact everything from food production to migration. Environmental stress compounds social and political stress really fast. These aren't theories, they're patterns, and they often appear in clusters. One warning sign bleeds into the next. Civil unrest follows inflation. Power outages can spark riots. Shortages create desperation. You cannot afford to ignore them. Every potential collapse has a buildup. Every boom has a prequel. And those who live left a boom learn to read the script before the world even catches on. So ask yourself, what are the warning signs around you right now? Let's talk tactics. Knowing what left a boom means is one thing. Living it every day is something completely different. It's not just about having a go bag or a gun safe. It's about building systems, routines, and redundancies into your life that protect you from collapse. Whether that collapse is a slow economic grind or a fast, violent event. Here are 6 foundational pillars that will help you stay left of boom and help you stay alive. Number 1 is PACE planning. We talk about this often. We put a book out about it. PACE stands for Primary, Alternate, Contingency, and Emergency, and this planning method applies to literally everything. Communication, transportation, shelter, water, and everything in between. If your phone fails, do you have a backup phone? Do you have a backup radio? Is your main vehicle, is it disabled? Do you have another way out of town? The PACE model forces you to think in layers, and layers keep you resilient. Number 2 is situational awareness training. The first tool you ever deploy isn't your pack. It's between your ears. Awareness is not paranoia. I say that all the time. It's pattern recognition. It's understanding baseline behavior and spotting deviations early. Practice observing exits when you walk into buildings. Scan the crowds. Notice who's paying attention and who isn't. Situational awareness gives you lead time, and lead time gives you options. Number 3, decentralize your resources. If everything you own is in one location, one event can wipe you out. Spread out your gear, your food, your water, and your documentation. Use caches, trusted friends, off-site storage, whatever you can. Your goal is simple. Never be in a position where one bad day can leave you with nothing. Number 4, group readiness. Lone wolves, most of the time, don't make it very far. Humans are tribal by nature, and in crisis, your tribe is going to matter. Try to build communities now. Host a potluck. Train together. Exchange skills, whether it's a neighborhood watch or a mutual assistance group or a few trusted family members or even close friends. Your survival odds multiply when you're not alone. Number 5, offline communication. When cell towers are down and the internet's dark, how are you going to reach your people? Learn radios. Practice using ham radios like the Bofang. Develop comms trees and code words. Make sure your family or your group knows how to check in, where to meet, and what to do if Plan A of your PACE plan fails. Number 6, skills over stuff. And I talk about this so often because it's very, very tempting to hoard gear. We all do it. And don't get me wrong, gear is extremely useful. But skills are permanent. Ask yourself, can you filter water with no gear? Can you splint a leg? Can you cook without propane? Can you start a fire with wet wood or in really bad conditions? The more skills you stack, the less dependent you are on tools. And in the worst case scenario, you carry those skills with you no matter what you might lose as far as your gear. Each one of the pillars strengthens your positions on that timeline. They move you further left. They buy you time. And in a world of preparedness, time is life. Don't wait until the boom is echoing through your neighborhood to wish you'd built these systems. Build them now. Test them, improve them, and teach them to others, especially your children. Because surviving is one thing. Leading others to survive, that should be the mission. Let's bring this down to earth. Theory is important, of course, but nothing teaches you quite like real-life examples. And unfortunately, history is filled with examples of people who lived right of boom and paid the price. Take Hurricane Katrina, 2005. Everyone remembers the footage of the Superdome. The floodwaters swallowing New Orleans, people stranded on rooftops. But what many don't talk about is that the true tragedy unfolded after the hurricane passed. People died not just in the storm, but in the chaos that followed. No food, no clean water, no medical help. Families waiting days to get rescued. Hospitals were overwhelmed and underpowered. Communications were mostly down. Civil order vanished. Compare that to the families and preppers who evacuated early or stayed behind with supplies, generators, water storage, and a comms plan. They weren't lucky. They were left of boom. They watched the weather models. They were paying attention to the warnings. They didn't wait for the boom to arrive before they took action. Fast forward to 2020, the COVID-19 pandemic. You remember the panic, toilet paper shortages, the ammo vanishing from the shelves, grocery stores emptied out. The world changed almost every night. People couldn't even get baby formula. It was completely insane and also completely overblown. What happened? Boom. And yet again, the pattern repeated. Those who were prepared, those who already had food stored, masks bought, home protection in place, and the communications plans ready, they adapted pretty quickly. They weren't running out to stores and fighting crowds. They were already set up to ride it out. These events weren't science fiction. They were recent history, and now we're seeing more cracks forming. The last 4 years, before the last election, the economy was on extremely shaky ground, and we're still trying to clean up that mess. And I said it in videos before Trump actually got elected, and I don't want to make this political, but I talked about the fact that the economy was on the brink, and they wanted it to stay that way, so when Trump got in, it would be very difficult for him to clean it up, and they could essentially blame everything on him. Everyone knows the market has been propped up. It's really all been just smoke and mirrors, so it's a very difficult time right now. Supply chains are still fragile. Cyber attacks are definitely ramping up across the world. Fruit processing plants mysteriously catching fire. Tensions between world powers is rising. Look at everything happening between Israel and Iran and Ukraine and Russia. The boom doesn't always look like an explosion. Sometimes it's a slow motion unraveling. Sometimes it's one small disruption at a time until the entire system is too unstable to recover. But the outcome is always the same. Those who planned ahead, they lead. Those who didn't, they end up suffering. So what story do you want to be in? Left a boom, it's not fear-based. It's future-focused. And history rewards those who saw it coming. Let's talk about the hard truth. Sometimes you miss it. The boom happens, the system collapses, the shelves end up bare, the lights are out, streets are chaos, and you might be caught in it. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe you were just getting started. Maybe you thought you had more time. Whatever the reason, the boom hit and you weren't ready. So now what? First, let go of the guilt. Regret is a distraction. And in a survival situation, distraction can be deadly. You cannot change the past, but you can absolutely shape what happens next. Start by slowing the chaos. Your mindset is your most powerful weapon. Panic is going to cloud your judgment, but calm is going to create clarity. If you're panicking, you lose your edge. If you stay grounded, you keep your options. Now move into assessment. What do you have? What do you need? Prioritize a survival hierarchy. What is that hierarchy? Shelter. Where are you sleeping tonight? Water. What's your clean water source for the next 72 hours? Security. Can you protect yourself and your family 24/7 with 360-degree protection, if required? Food. How much do you have, and how long can you stretch it out if you had to? Communications. Who do you need to contact, and how? How are you getting in touch with them? This is your new reality. You're living right of boom, unfortunately, but that doesn't mean it's over. You can still build structure, you can regroup, and you can start layering preparedness from the inside out. One of the smartest moves you can make at this point is finding a group. Even if it's just a neighbor. Start building trust, barter skills, share your knowledge. Join forces. Lone survival is rarely sustainable in a long-term collapse. Strength is always going to be found in networks of people that are working together. And if you don't have a plan yet, start building one now. The best time to get prepared is right now, today. It's never too late to start. You might not have, great levels of a PACE plan, but you can create a single backup option today. One alternate water source, one emergency exit route, one trusted contact you can coordinate with. Remember this, survival is momentum. Every smart decision you make compounds. Every day you endure makes you more capable. There is no shame in waking up late. The only tragedy is staying asleep. So if you're right of boom today, act like someone who's ready to live left of boom on the next one, on the next natural disaster or the next incident that could happen. Because once you've been caught off guard, you'll never want to feel that exposed again. Survival isn't just about avoiding disaster. It's about bouncing back from it, stronger, smarter, and more prepared than ever before. So here's the final question. Where are you on the timeline? Are you living left of boom already? Or are you drifting towards the edge, just hoping and praying that the worst won't happen? Left of boom is not just a phrase. It's not just a title for this podcast episode. It's a life philosophy. It's a declaration that you won't leave your future or your family's safety up to chance. It's about stacking the odds in your favor day by day. Small choices, consistent actions, smart adjustments. It's reviewing your PACE plans, checking your gear, building local relationships, and having honest conversations with your family about what to do before the storm hits. Think about it like this. If you haven't done fire drills with your family at home, you should be doing that. You should know if there's a fire, what do we do? Where are the extinguishers? Where are we meeting? There's a lot of things that you should be running through, rehearsing with your family when it comes to general safety. You don't need to have it all figured out right now. You just need to take the next step. So here's your challenge today. Before the sun sets, review one section of your preparedness plan. Recheck your food and water supplies. Text one person and start a conversation about building a plan together. Maybe print a map, walk one evacuation route, even if it's just on your property. Read one chapter of our new book, Situational Awareness. One action today moves you further left of boom tomorrow. And those small actions, they add up. They turn into confidence, capability, and leadership. And if this episode lit a fire under you, share it. Share it with a friend. Play it at your next meeting if you're meeting with neighbors or you're meeting with your group, especially if you already have one. If you don't, put one together now. Drop it in a group chat. Let people know that preparedness isn't about fear. You hear that all the time. People, this is fear-mongering. It's not. It's about freedom. It's about general preparedness. It's not always going to be about a life-ending event that takes the world down. It could be a wildfire, could be a hurricane, could be anything in between. And if you haven't yet, make sure you follow this podcast. Try to leave a review if you can. Every bit of support helps keep this message going strong. And make sure you check out our books, P.A.C.E. Planning, the 9 Pillars of Preparedness, and Situational Awareness. Stay ready, stay aware, and live left of boom.